Hello everybody and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So, we have learned that Larry was there. He burst into the courtroom and said, "I was there, I can testify." So now we are back from our 5-minute recess. We have gotten a little insight of what Edgeworth had done that night in the boat. And now we are just going to testify Larry. So we are still at a very full bar of health. We are still in the green. We can still milk this as much as I can. I just gotta be very careful with what I press. So without further ado, let us continue on with the episode. December 27th, 10:35 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Alright, court is now back in session. Wait a moment. I got some fruit. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw on the night of December 24th. Right, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Bart Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I just hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. Alright, the night of the murder. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something and found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back in the rental shop dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. That was an unusually vague testimony even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, we've come this far. There's no way to go but forward, Nick. So my one thing is to literally just press Larry on everything. That night I was on the lake boat. I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something and found it. Yeah, you can't hide that. Looking for something? Yeah. Mr. Butts, what was it you were looking for? What the witness is searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. That's surprisingly close to the truth in a sense. This is all irrelevant. Let's get this over with. So I quietly slipped the boat back at the rental shop. Around what time was that? Well, let's see. I figured we were searching for about an hour. I guess it was around 12 o'clock, yeah. You're not sure? Hey, don't give me that face! I'm not some sort of human sundial, okay? I mean, if you look at his face, it kind of looks like a little sundial. People use watches these days, Larry. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know? Did you look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. I looked out over the lake, but didn't see a boat. That's impossible. Wasn't there a boat on the lake? Order, order! Well, Mr. Butts? Whoa, whoa! Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case! So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. Hold it! So you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh? Well, Nick, I only heard one bang. That is not true. Time of death, shot from 1 year away. I think Lada's testimony. Heard 2 gunshots. There we go. Wait a sec, Larry. What? You only heard one bang, you're sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday that she heard 2 bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said? Yo, Nick, please! Huh? You know something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. Larry, that's not how it works. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? I mean, if you do treat somebody nice, you get treated nice back, but... Larry, it's a murder trial. The stakes are raised, man! This is not a McDonald's! Mr. Butts, what? You only heard 1 gunshot. Are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure. What the hell, Larry? Not sure? How can you not be sure? Yeah, well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was, listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude, with my headphones. Does he have a straight-up Walkman? Why is my fingers always on the frickin' buttons? What? Order! Stop that booing! It's like everyone in the court has like iPods and iPhones. It's like, who the hell uses a radio? Who the hell uses a Walkman? Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones? Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal? I mean, nowadays everybody's listening to podcasts, but to each their own, I guess. Mr. Von Karma, your opinion? Waste of time. Worst trial ever. I do not accept this witness nor his shabby testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should we continue the testimony? Continue. I want to win. Mr. Von Karma, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and be sure to include details like your radio and not your iPhone. But I digress. Right, leave it to me. And I'm not sponsored at all by Apple. I'm just making a joke. I wondered if there was any other way out of this, believe me. What Larry heard... It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. You can say that again. Well, that's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud, like. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume? Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't this a free country? I don't know, is this Japan or America? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. True enough, this is difficult to believe in this testimony. Whoop, sorry. Sorry about that. Objection! Thank you, Phoenix. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me, DJ? What is this DJ? What are iPhones? An announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. Or this charade. Alright, what Larry heard. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to my all-request radio show on the radio. I was listening to it real booming loud, like. Real booming loud. Yeah, you know. And you had headphones on. Yep. I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it. What did she say? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what a radio DJ said do us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why I should care. We should care! He heard her! Or at least heard what... We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Well, you know... Well, how do you know if we don't ask? Fine, very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when she said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard the gunshot. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this real sexy voice. Maybe Von Karma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us. This is the most ludicrous testimony I've ever heard. But there's one gleaming ray of hope in there. I've got to press it until we get to the bottom of what happened. Okay. So, still at full bar, there's still full hope. Alright, it's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. Hey, it's almost Christmas. Just when she said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard a gunshot. Almost Christmas. The autopsy report, let's see. Time of death sometime on the 24th or 25th. Approximately 1 meter away. So I think that might be... Example number 1 would be the autopsy report. Photo taken automatically on 225 at 12:15 a.m. Fired 3 times, bears prints from Edgeworth's right hand, but the one thing that bothers me is this one fired 3 times, so that's... Metal detector impaired aren't according to DL6 case, photograph of the DL6 murder. I think this is what I have to present. Uh-oh. Your Honor, that's... No, it doesn't. Whoops. Almost Christmas. Alright, so that didn't work. Actually, before I continue, since I'm already down to 1 strike, episode 9. Let's do the 9 one. Alright, so let's see. Autopsy report didn't work. Whoopsies. Alright, so autopsy is out. The lake photo, taken approximately at 9:15 a.m., shows an empty lake taken automatically on 11:50 p.m. So I think it's either this photo or the empty... I'm gonna go with this one. Yes! Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's that face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easily. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas! Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve! That would seem to be the case, yes, but he should have heard that gunshot after midnight. This photograph is irrefutable proof of this fact. Let's see what the time was on the photo taken when the gun triggered Miss Hart's camera. 12:25, 00:15. 15 minutes after midnight on Christmas Day. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order, order! What does this mean? The 2 prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness says he heard gunshots before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butts' claim he heard gunshots before midnight? Larry's right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. I can only imagine what Von Karma is thinking, like, this fool is testing my damn patience. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. Oh, God. It's like I'm just shuffling around all these evidence papers in front of me on my court desk. Alright, the second lake photo. There we go. Look at this photograph! This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why the photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. But didn't Larry say that he was trying to blow up the Steel Samurai and then boom, it exploded and went flying into the lake and he went out to get it? So that might have been the loud boom that was heard. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that that is the case. Then where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshot after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were two sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them. Even I'm kind of marveled at Phoenix's mental gymnastics. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why the witness could have sneezed and triggered the camera. Hey, my nose is clear that night, man. Clear! Well, Mr. Wright, oh boy. I'm panic saving, yay! Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gun? Please show the court your evidence. Oh my goodness gracious. Could you please show the court a reason as to why I should believe your BS? I'm going off on a limb. Oh, finally! This is my evidence. The murder weapon. Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both the witness who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That third shot was That third shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order! Order! That would make sense on the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me with wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why? Uh-oh, I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. Ah! What's wrong, Nick? I have it. I have it. Huh? Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya. Yeah? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edward's guilty verdict. We've got a hunch. I've got a hunch. I'm going to run with it. I'm gonna run with that hunch. Right. I mean, is this safe? I don't know. My hunch is like 25 pounds, and I'm running with it. I really don't want to mess it up. Safe? We've already gotten the guilty verdict. We have nothing left to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright. The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What the hell are you on about? What do you mean, Mr. Wright? Tisk, tisk, tisk. So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on the lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit, it is hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 15, but Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men are on the boat. The murderer and Hammond, Edgeworth and the murderer, Edgeworth and Hammond. Time to stress save again, you guys. Hoo boy. Explain who the two men are on the lake. The murderer and Hammond, Edgeworth and the murderer. Well, we know Edgeworth was on the boat, but who's to say that the murderer was Hammond? I don't know. I'm grasping for straws. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to make sense of all this mental work that is going on and about right now. The murderer and Hammond, Edgeworth and the murderer, Edgeworth and Hammond. I'm gonna say Edgeworth and the murderer. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all of this. Ludicrous! Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's Miles Edgeworth Loudheart. I don't know. It is not Loudheart. I can tell you that right now. It is not Loud. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of the crime was not a boat? What? Well then, where did the murder take place? Alright. Hey! Alright, let's see. Boat shop. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing.
Objection.
Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony if you will. Wait. That night he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned the boat? The boat shop! Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond into his shop. Whoa, shit. Dad! Oh no. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went into the middle of the lake. Then, who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? The boat shopkeeper. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute, yes. Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? Details! Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. Because he shot first and missed. To create a witness. Ooh. Why did the murderer had to fire twice? This is actually a good one. He either shot and missed to create a witness. That's actually smart. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. Mr. Wright, these are mental gymnastics you're playing with. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. Once he realized that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put on Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body. He then threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Bailiff! Bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Oh boy. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant Miles Edgeworth a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said. Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir! Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared! He isn't at the boat shop either! What? Oh, what should I do? Find him quickly! We cannot allow him to get away! Oh. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. December 27th, 1:22 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I don't know. I think there's fan art of Edgeworth smiling, but I don't think I've ever seen him smile. I'm sorry. But I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. I may have feelings for you. I'm sorry. Oh my god, that would be so weird if just out of right field nowhere Edgeworth was just like confessing to Phoenix everything. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Oh my god, is he actually gonna confess? Edgeworth? No, there's little time left. Oh my god, please confess. I want to tell you, to get off my chest with... You could write a fan fiction with these words. I can't make up my mind. Should I tell you now or tell you after you've won? Or would we win? Are we going to win? I don't know. I don't know whether to do it now or to do it later. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. Oh. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. Oh! Oh, poor Edgy. Yes, please. Alright, so we are going to save at number 10. So, thank you guys for joining me on this very, now even more intense episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. The episodes just keep going from more and more and more intense, and next episode we will figure out about Edgeworth's apparent nightmare. So if you like this, leave a like and please subscribe to my channel. On the left is Phoenix Wright playlist that I've been playing for the last couple of episodes. So episode 1 is just straight up 1 episodes. There's 2 and 3 already done and hopefully uploaded and completed by this point. And to my left will be one of my reaction videos. So if you like this, leave a like and please share with a friend and get my word out there. I'm Static Stardust and I will see you guys in the next episode on this channel. Bye.